All right, a live version of the wrap up. We'll do that now with the week 11 wrap up. I'm not a producer, I'm a simulator. So forgive me if that song wasn't good enough for you, but I always think of football when I hear that song. Let's go to New York, where the Frankfurt Mock went in. They were up 28-10. This game was over in a hurry. New York did put up 14 in the third to get back 28-24, but Frankfurt scores 17 in the fourth quarter, 45-31, 6-4 now for the Mock, and 5-5 for the Intimidators, who I believe were on a two-game win streak. Take a look at the passing. J.T. Barrett, 13 of 22, 172, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. McCarron came off the bench. He threw a touchdown. RG3, 4 interceptions, 327 yards, 26 of 45. Bishop Sankey, 25 carries, 110 yards. He did not find the end zone, but his backup or understudy, Michael Warren II, did. Sean Tucker, the rookie out of Syracuse, 12 carries, 52 yards, and a touchdown. Jester Way, 12 catches, 164 yards, and a touchdown in a losing effort. Kyle Rudolph and Stanley Morgan Jr. for Frankfurt, each with a touchdown, but Jamon Alspawn with 2 touchdowns in here. Again, Frankfurt now 6-4, New York 5-5. Moving on to Washington, one of the best performances of the year. Washington was up 24-0 at halftime, and it just got uglier from there as Matt Ryan threw 6 touchdowns in here. Crazy offensive day. Crazy offensive day for Matt Ryan. 14 of 17. So he completed 14 passes. Almost half of them went for touchdowns. 446 yards. That London secondary got torched. Tyler Huntley was picked off twice. Completed 14 of 32. Weak effort on his part. Kenneth Dixon filling in for the injured Philip Lindsay. 17 of 43. 2 fumbles by Tyler Huntley. So he turns the ball over 4 times in here. Fullback Torrey Carter with the lone score. Kareem Hunt had a touchdown. 182 yards. 20 on 20 carries. Receiving. 7 catches for Alex Wesley in a losing effort. Antonio Callaway, 6 catches, 3 touchdowns, 214 yards. Olabisi Johnson, 4 catches, 167 yards, 2 touchdowns. Javon Wims each with a touchdown as well. Defensively, Lonnie Phelps, rookie, Kansas, 10 tackles, 1 sack, 3 sacks there for Jalen Holmes in a winning effort. Derek Beatty with a forced fumble. Jason Verrett with an interception. I think the Americans snapped a 2-game slide. They're now 6-4. London 3-7. We'll take a look at the standings, but I think London's out of it at this point. Birmingham is definitely out of it. They slipped to 1-9 as they lose to Hartford 17-14. Hartford scored a touchdown in the fourth quarter to make it 24-14. That was a David Johnson run. Spoke with Mark Myers yesterday, GM of Hartford, and he said that is his most valuable player. Chad Kelly threw 2 picks, but they get the victory. Kevin Hogan, 22 of 39, 2 touchdowns. Again, Carson Strong's been injured. Trent Richardson, 19 carries, 57 yards. 3 scores for David Johnson, 142 yards. On the receiving end, Jarvis Landry, 9 catches, 122 yards. Stephen Sullivan and Lil Jordan Humphrey, each with touchdowns. J.J. Arcega Whiteside and Jonathan Adams Jr. combined for 12 catches, no touchdowns. So now Hartford 8-2. That's the best record in the Stars Conference. Moving on to Columbus, Memphis gets the victory in overtime, 16-13. They're now 5-5, and Columbus drops to 6-4, 16-13. It was a field goal contest early, as we got to the end of the third quarter, 6-3 when the offense took off. John Kelly had a touchdown run. Ryan Switzer, 11-yard pass from Ryan Lindley. With 49 seconds left to go in overtime, Memphis Andre Smile from Syracuse kicks a 49-yarder for the game winner. Columbus is Jose Borregala missed a field goal that could have won it. I think it was 46 yards. Ryan Lindley was picked off twice, but he gets the victory, 20 of 39, 277 yards. Carson Wentz was picked off once as well. Donnell Pumphrey gets the start, 25 carries, 69 yards. TJ Yeldon, 7 carries, 20 yards. There just wasn't a whole lot of offense in this game. Jay Ajayi, 20 carries, 66 yards. Sammy Watkins, 8 catches, 127 yards. There was a lot of talk about moving Sammy Watkins down the depth chart and letting Bryce Ford Wheaton and Matt Landers play. But in the long run, Sammy Watkins proceeds to have a big day and cement his spot at the top of that rotation. Jeff Fuller, 5 catches, 93 yards. Will Fuller, who they picked up from Detroit, 2 catches for 21 yards for Columbus in a losing effort. Louisville went to Dublin and they smacked them around. It was 23-3 at halftime, 40-13. Dublin cannot wait for Cooper Rush to get back. AJ Green there with a 32-yard pick six. Quinn Sharp with several field goals in a losing effort. Two. Sorry. Remember, Sharp used to play for for Louisville, and John Barron, the kicker for Louisville, used to play for Dublin, and 2 years ago they flip-flopped sides. Alan Lazard catches a touchdown pass with less than 2 minutes to go from Nathan Peterman just to get to 13, but 40-13, Dublin now 6-4. I'm sorry, Louisville 6-4, Dublin drops to 5-5. When it's live, you always mess up, right? Clayton Thorson, his first start this season, 16 of 32, 275, 2 touchdowns, picked off once. Nathan Peterman, who had a good game last week, he was picked off twice. Todd Gurley, 26 of 89. Paul Perkins got a rushing touchdown. Tavion Thomas, the rookie out of Utah, 20 carries, 49 yards. Twice he fumbled the ball. Steve Esmail from Louisville, 7 catches, 117 yards. Him and Austin Allen, the tight end, each with touchdowns. Alan Lazard with a touchdown for the Wolfhounds, like we talked about. Orlando went to Barcelona. Barcelona gets the victory, 29-10. They get to 5-5. Orlando drops to 5-5, 29-10. Crazy game here. Barcelona went through 3 quarterbacks. Bortles got hurt early. Cody Kessler came in. He got hurt. And then Garrett Gilbert with 3 touchdowns. But I think that offensive line gave up 6 sacks, but the running game was the big show for Barcelona. Wayne Gallman, 22 carries, 118 yards. Jordan Howard for the Gales, 12 carries for 44 yards. Receiving, Simi Cobbs, 9 catches, 134 yards. John Ross, the cheese man, 8 catches, 127 yards, 3 touchdowns. All from Garrett Gilbert. Again, both teams now 5-9. San Antonio went to Detroit. We thought this was going to be an easy victory for San Antonio, but they lose to the Griffins. Griffins now 3-7. San Antonio drops to 7-3. 24-15 was the final score. Jordan Matthews scored a touchdown in the third quarter against his old team, San Antonio. Lamar Miller with a 3-yard run with 9:38 left to go in the game. They get within 9, and that's as close as the Scorps could get to Detroit. Matt Barkley, not a great game. 19 of 42, picked off twice. Colt McCoy on the other side, 389 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Tevin Coleman coming off that injury, 17 carries, 62 yards, no touchdowns. Lamar Miller had the lone rushing touchdown for the Scorpions. Spencer Brown, 21 of 69. The run game for Detroit has not looked very good. They do get the victory in here. Kelvin Benjamin, 5 catches, 81 yards for San Antonio. But we have touchdowns. Colt McCoy hooked up with Taylor Gabriel, who's been hot since being traded over from Columbus. 7 catches, 144 yards. Jordan Matthews and Troy Fumagalli, who Troy used to play for San Antonio. All 3 of them have touchdown catches in here. Moving on, Albuquerque went into Tulsa. Thought this might be a bit of a trap game, but Albuquerque, especially when Tulsa jumped out to a 3-0 lead, but it was 14-13 at halftime. Albuquerque then scored 31 in the second half to go win it 45-13. They're now 6-4, first time above 500 all year for Albuquerque. They're starting to get hot. Tulsa now 0-10. The Bandits, of course, 3 touchdowns for Mike White, 9 of 18, 308 yards. Deshaun Kaiser, 25 of 41, 227 yards, touchdown. He was picked off once. Donta Foreman, 10 catches for 108 yards for him. Billy Brown, the tight end from Shepherd, with the lone touchdown catch for the Bandits. Again, Albuquerque 6-4, Tulsa 0-10. Chicago went to Portland. Chicago's been reeling since Joe Flacco got hurt, but they recovered 7-0 quickly as Fabian Moreau with an 80-yard pick six. Jake Weineke comes back with a touchdown catch from Alex Torgerson, 63 yards. Portland then goes up 10-7 after the at the end of the first half with a 19-yard field goal, BT Potter. But Portland's winning 23-17 at halftime, and that's all they really needed. James Robinson with a big day. He had 21 carries, 112 yards. He did not find the end zone, though. 3 picks, Brandon Weeden for the Barons, but he completed 25 of 39. 1 touchdown. Torgerson filling in for Flacco. He has now effectively replaced... can't remember who their backup is. Sorry about that. 13 of 27, 285 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like I said, picked off once. Flacco's expected back probably for the last game of the season, regular season. So we'll see if Chicago can stay alive until then. Weineke and James Robinson each with touchdown catches. On the other side, Kendall Hinton with a touchdown catch for the Barons. Moving on, St. Louis keeps rolling on in a game that they should have lost to Sacramento. Sacramento's up 17-3 at halftime. They're up 24-10 at the end of the third quarter. But guess what? Guess what happens then? Cam Newton comes alive with 2 touchdown throws. And then Yusuf Corker with a fumble return for a touchdown with 27 seconds left to go in the game. Landry Jones comes back and hits Devin Williams 53 yards with just 11 seconds left to go in regulation, forcing overtime in a game they should have won. 31-31, Elliott Fry comes in and he kicks field goal. 34-31, 9-1 for the Sentinels. The Owls dropped to 2-8. Like I said, Cam Newton had a decent day. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 16-32. Wasn't his best day, but they win. And that's the crazy thing about St. Louis right now. Lamar Jackson's hurt. Holton Hill is back fresh. Kenyon Drake's due back this week. They went games without Dylan Moses, but they keep on rocking. 9-1 is the best record in the AFA right now. Landry Jones, 3 touchdowns. He was picked off twice. Like I said, Kenyon Drake's probable. I'm sure he'll get the start. But Devontae Price, 29 carries, 140 yards and a score. For the Sentinels, Ismael Zamora, 7 catches, 97 yards. Keon Dixon and Chris Warren III, the tight end, each with touchdown catches. So, think back to that Tom Brady era when he was throwing to lacrosse players. That's what Cam Newton's doing right now at 9-1. So that's it for Week 11, the last week of the buys. So we're moving on to Week 12. No more buys. Everybody's had their bye. Dublin travels to New York. Both teams 5-5. This is a big, big game for tiebreakers. I think Cooper Rush is still questionable for the Wolfhounds. That's not good for Jeff Chaney. Barcelona goes to Washington. 2 teams that are on that playoff bubble. Louisville headed to Hartford to see if they can do something against the Hellions. Orlando travels to Columbus. So right there's 4 games that have major playoff implications. And same with Memphis at Frankfurt. Birmingham at London probably doesn't mean anything to anybody, including those in Birmingham and London. St. Louis goes to a hot Albuquerque team. We'll see how the Arrows fare. Chicago goes to San Antonio. Big game there. Portland at Hawaii. Hawaii coming off the bye. They're 8-2, second best team in the Stripes Conference. Sacramento goes to San Diego, two teams that appear to be out of it. San Jose at Tulsa, two teams that appear to be out of it. Salt Lake City goes to Detroit. Now, Detroit surprised San Antonio. I don't think they can do that a second straight week with Salt Lake City, but we'll see. Moving on to, let's see what the, I'm sorry, that's not where I wanted to be. I wanted to be at the Players of the Week. Here we go. Sorry about that. The Player of the Week, Matt Ryan on offense, 14 to 70 for 17. And they get 446 yards, 6 touchdowns. Josh Jobe, 5 tackles, 2 interceptions. One of them was a pick 6. To be the defensive player of the week. We got people chatting. Then in the Stripes Conference, Mike White, 3 touchdown passes, plus he rushed one in. Marvell Tell had a pick 6 and 7 tackles. Let's take a look at your league leaders going through 11 weeks of the season. Your passing leader still Joe Flacco, expected out at least another month. Nick Foles, 109.8 with that QBR. Yards leader, Nick Foles, 28.51, having a huge season. Landry Jones, since he arrived in Sacramento, has been a totally different quarterback. 2,804 yards. Matt Barkley, just over 2,500, as is Blake Bortles. Touchdowns, 24 for Nick Foles. Mike White and Blake Bortles each with 20 touchdown tosses. The rookie Tyson Bagent with 19. Interception leader, 15 there from Josh Rosen, who is out with injury right now. Chad Kelly, 14 interceptions for him since he split in time between Detroit and Hartford, but he's been winging it. Whedon, Bagent, each with 12 interceptions. Your rushing leader right now is still Fournette, 1146. Now that everybody's had their buys, this is a little more accurate. Kareem Hunt there in second, about 51 yards behind Fournette. Foreman there in third. Fourth is Sankey. James Robinson, 968. A long way away from that 2,051 yards last year. Touchdown leader is now David Johnson. He's got 10. Kareem Hunt still in the thick of things with 9. Foreman and Sean Tucker each with 8. Your yards per carry leader is Fournette. Fumbles, who leads the league in fumbles? Kenyon Drake's got 5. He's known for putting the ball on the ground. His carry's a 73. Deshaun Kaiser's fumbled 4 times. And Tyler Huntley's fumbled 4 times. 2 rushing quarterbacks. Yards after first hit, your leader is Kareem Hunt. Fournette closely behind him. 20-plus yard carries. Kareem Hunt's got 7. Yeldon and Fournette each with 5, as does James Robinson. Receiving leader, Steve Ismail from Louisville with 68. Kelvin Benjamin's got 58. He's 10 behind him. The Cheese Man's got 58. Jarrett Stearns has got 58. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside with 57. Yards leader, Brashard Perryman, but not too far behind is John Ross. There's Steve Ismail from Syracuse in his 6th season. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside with 929. Kelvin Benjamin, 871 yards per catch. Goes to Perryman at 24.1. Xavier Scott still having a good season at 19.1 yards per catch. Jake Weineke at 18.5. So there's 2 guys right there for Chicago. A lot of that had to do with Flacco. They've cooled off a little bit since Flacco's got hurt. Be interesting to see what Chicago does when Flacco does come back. Jake Weineke leading the league with 11 touchdown catches. Brashard Perryman and John Ross each with 9. You're blocking. La'el Collins gave up a sack this week, but he has taken Eric Jackson, who's in second. Eric Flowers has 51. Paul Adams from the Explorers with 50. And then Connor Galvin, the rookie out of Baylor, with 47 pancakes. He's allowed 2 sacks. Luke Jokel with 47. He's allowed 3 sacks. Usually he's at the top. Your tackle leader is going to be Joe Bachi from Birmingham. He's tied with Isaiah Moore with 81. Nick Kwiatkowski from Detroit with 76. Ryan Anderson from Memphis with 70. TFLs, Andre Carter II, the rookie, with 12. Anthony Barr for Dublin with 12. John Bostic with 11. Taco Charlton with 11. Rookie Tyrus Wheat for Frankfurt's got 10. Kyle Emanuel's got 10. He's been stuck on that number for several weeks. Martin Ifedi with 10 tackles for loss. 8 sacks already for Ifedi. He is just a pro. Always puts up the sacks, and this year he's putting up the TFLs. Carl Nassib still leads the league. He's got 12 sacks. Jojo Domain with 11. But you have to go all the way down to Zach Van Valkenburg's got 8. Martin Ifedi's got 8. Marcus Hunt has 7. Jalen Holmes, he had 3 this week. He's got 7. Your interception leader is Savion Smith for the Demons/Owls. He's got 6. Josh Jobe with 6. DeAndre Baker with 6. That your 2 starting corners for Frankfurt, each with 6. Josh Jackson's got 6. Mark Gilbert and Kai Blue Kelly with 5 each. Mackenzie Alexander with 5 interception catches allowed. Josh Jackson right now is a revolving turnstile, allowing 40 catches. Starling Thomas V, he's allowed 37. Got off to a hot start, but he's struggled lately. Eli Ricks with 37 catches allowed. Josh Jobe with 36. Fabian Moreau's allowed 36. Cordray Tankersley has allowed 36 catches as well. Pass deflections, I thought there was somebody who's having a crazy year. 25 passes defended for Josh Jobe. Lamar Jackson still hurt. He's got 23. Holton Hill with 23. I thought there was somebody who had more passes deflected than catches allowed, but I can't find that at the moment, so we'll keep moving on. Forced fumbles. Who's leading the league in forced fumbles? 4 from Jaquiski Tart for Birmingham. Clayton Geathers with 3. Kyle Emanuel's forced 3 fumbles. Sidney Jones for Detroit's forced 3. Jalen Holmes having a big season for the Americans has allowed 3, and Trill Williams for the Sharks has allowed 3 forced fumbles as well. Safeties, nothing major there. How about defensive touchdowns? 4 for Josh Jobe, so 4 pick 6, or actually I think he has 3 pick 6 and a forced. I think he returned a fumble for a touchdown, but 4 defensive touchdowns for Josh Jobe. Good for him. Kicking leader Blair Walsh, 27 of 29. He's got the most field goals made. Your percentage goes to Justin Yoon for San Antonio, San Jose. Frenzy, 20 of 20. On the year. Caleb Sturgis with 94% accuracy. Rodrigo Blankenship with 94. Game-winning field goals made goes to Rodrigo with 2. New York only has 5 wins. Your punt leader is going to be Drew Kaiser, 45.3 on the average. Your net average is going to be Marquette King for Frankfurt at 40.6. Pinned inside the 20, it's going to go to James Smith for Columbus with 20. Touchbacks, no touchbacks for Gabe. Oh, he's a kicker. Michael Turk with 17. Let's look at kick returners. I want to see who the top kick returner has been, and that's going to go to Keyshawn Nixon, 25.5. Him and JaMychal Hasty tied at the same 25.5. Each of them with 1 touchdown return for a touchdown. 102 yards for Keyshawn Nixon. That's pretty amazing. So we're done looking at that. Let's take a look at the injury report real quick. Flacco right now I think might be the big one. Pinckney, Hampton out for the season. Conley's out for the season. Nate Herbig's out for the season. Mile Brooks, Corey Liminaire, Briley Moore McKinley got hurt in week 1. Anthony Hitchens has got 9 more weeks. He's probably out. Trayvon Wesco for San Diego's got another 2 months. He's probably out. Cheatham Norrills got hurt this week. He's going to miss 2 months. I think they would have to get deep into the playoffs for him to come back. Brian Edwards was supposed to be Cam Newton's newest target. He's missed a lot of time this year. Lamar Jackson, he still has over a month to go, as does Ben Heaney. Philip Lindsay, London's out, but he's got a month. Joe Flacco, 4 weeks at least. Preston Williams for Orlando, he's got another month. Got a bunch of guys that are going to come back in about 4 weeks, right at the end of the season. So that'll be exciting. Josh Rosen's got that back injury. He's going to miss 3 more weeks. Jerron Jones is out. Courtney Davis, a bunch of guys come back next week. Verone McKinley II. Hartford's been without their starting strong safety a lot of the season. Abram Smith due back next week. They can really use him. Stephon Anthony. Carson Strong's questionable. Cooper Rush questionable this week. They got to go with Peterman in New York. Jonathan Johnson, another. So 2 starting receivers for St. Louis on the injury report. Mo Claiborne's probable for Dublin coming back. Kenyon Drake is probable. Landon Collins, some trade talks with him, but he can't be traded since he's injured. Still questionable. If he gets to probable, he can be traded. Jake Kumerow, the White Mamba, is probable this week. Shane Ray finally due back for London, so that's going to get exciting. I think that's it. We've taken a look at a lot of things here in the Week 11 wrap-up, and I will send you off with one more song as we take a look at some of the newspaper stuff. Who couldn't beat a college team right now. Come on, Eddie Ohanian. Your team can't even beat a college team right now. 214 yards for Callaway. 3 touchdowns. St. Louis at Albuquerque. Potential playoff matchup coming up here. Young D tackle at 32. I love it. They're predicting Tulsa to get their first win out of Tulsa when they play San Jose this week. Jared Hawker, 3 sacks allowed. Second in offense for the Comets. 10th in run defense, and they're 5-5. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Just 6 weeks to go.